This is Build Without Chaos. I'm Colleen Goepfert. One clear idea every episode for operators, founders, and marketers who build with intent. Welcome back to Build Without Chaos. Last time you heard from Angela in Tales from the Front Lines. That conversation reminded us that chaos isn't an abstract idea. It's lived and felt every day, especially by the people closest to the work. She named what it feels like, and she shared how she grounds herself in the middle of it. That's something that resonated with me. When you're leading, it's easy to forget how deeply chaos lands on your teams. Deadlines, shifting priorities, and energy of constant fire drills. Those don't just hit performance metrics, they hit people's nervous systems. Angie's stories put that into plain language. And it's a reminder, leadership isn't just about making decisions at the top. It's about creating the condition where the people closest to the work can actually thrive. One of the things I want to do in this first season is explore chaos at different levels. What it feels like on the front lines, Angie's episode, what happens when leaders themselves become the target, and what it looks like when we start shifting out of pure execution into influence and legacy. Each of these conversations is a piece of that bigger picture. Angie's episode was about daily lived reality. Later this month, you'll hear a conversation that looks at the other side. What happens when leaders themselves are in the spotlight? I won't give away the whole conversation yet, but what I can say is this. Shannon has spent the last few years interviewing women leaders about what happens when they're targeted at the top. She's writing a book about it, and she brings forward stories that don't often get told. Shannon's goal is to surface the patterns, the quiet stories, and the realities that usually stay behind closed doors. That perspective adds another layer to this season's arc, and I can't wait to share it with you. So if you're listening back to Angela's episode or thinking about your own role, here's the question I'll leave with you. How do you create a space for clarity when the system around you thrives on chaos? That question is just as relevant whether you're on the front lines or leading at the global level, and it's the through line of Build Without Chaos. See you next episode. Thanks for listening to this episode of Build Without Chaos. If today's episode resonated, subscribe and share it with someone else who's building without chaos.